Greetings, everybody. Tom Zenner, along with the one and only Kato Kalin.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, Kato. Great to see you. 1 degree of Scandalous with us as your host. Man, we're excited to be here for another episode today. Thank you for watching us on YouTube. If you're listening, subscribe to us on YouTube. Go check this out because, Kato, this is going to be a good one. Britney Spears is all over the news, of course.
Oh, but yeah, I got to tell you, I'm cutting you off. I just got back from a trip yesterday.
Okay.
You will not believe who my flight attendant was.
A 60-year-old woman on the verge of retirement?
Nope. Lower. Price is right. Lower. 50. Lower.
40, 30. An extremely rational individual.
Yeah, I couldn't. This is the first time I've seen. You know how you go through TSA, you can't bring weapons?
Yeah.
Well, this is what made me freak out, Tom. Do you want to see this?
Yeah, you got the video?
I do.
Show me. Okay.
Exits on this plane. 4 doors, 2 on each side, and 2 window exits located over the wing. All exits are clearly marked with an exit sign. Please take a moment to find an exit closest to you.
Oh, okay. So that's what you dealt with.
Yeah, yeah. We had our own sushi chef on board.
That's actually hilarious. And whoever put that together, man, that's very, very.
But yeah, I don't know. I just saw it. I said, Tom, this is brilliant here.
Kato, were you in an exit seat because you didn't want to lie to her? Are you prepared to open this door and assist in the event of emergency? If you say no to her, man, you might not have your jugular.
Well,
right? Sliced and diced.
I was in the overhead compartment. I was safe, but it was like flying Benihana Airlines. It was like, what is going? She's flipping shrimp to people.
Oh, God. I don't even want to go where I could go with this. But that was a funny video.
Yeah, really it's good. And it's a great thing because who is now in the news more than ever is her brand new book, Britney Spears.
Yep. The Woman in Me.
The Woman in Me.
And, well, I mean, I could have a really crude joke here, but I'm not going to. But she was married to Jason Alexander for 55 days. That was the first husband that crashed.
55 hours, I thought.
55 hours. My bad.
But yeah.
55 hours. Hello.
55 speed limit. Good. 55 can't drive. 55. Come on.
I mean, 55 days for them, man. That'd be an eternity.
Yeah.
But we have Jason Alexander on the show today, and he's going to set the record straight on a lot of the things that Britney said in that book. So I'm looking forward to talking to him because she basically says she didn't love him. It was a mistake. I don't remember jack squat about what happened. And of course, her team of leeches around her all invaded the premises and made sure that, that they got the divorce and the annulment immediately.
And I think people have to understand also, they grew up together. Mm-hmm. They've known each other. So sometimes you look back at the people that know you the best, family and people you grew up with.
Well, Kato, you came from Milwaukee, just the epitome of the Midwest. I came from Minnesota, a small town, right? I mean, Jason is from a small town in Louisiana, the same town as Britney Spears. They've been friends for life. By the way, Kato, how about our show last year with Jason Alexander, the frenzy that caused?
Yeah, that's why I said it's a great thing that, I'll tell you what, Jason's great in here and he makes predictions. We'll find out later. His prediction came true almost to the day.
You remember the one he made on our show last year?
Right? I sure do.
Yeah, we'll bring that up when we talk to Jason here in a second. But one other thing is, Britney's army, I'll tell you what, man, they are crazy. Last year, we had Jason Alexander on our show. Literally, Kato, as you know, he got out of jail and basically came to the set with us. We shot it on a Saturday morning at our old studio in Hollywood, over by the Hollywood Bowl. And that place was, I mean, you and I we're doing the show. We're always looking at the door, seeing if someone's breaking in. That was not a safe area.
Yeah. People sleeping right in front of the door.
Yeah, it was creepy.
Did you get a place yet?
But you know what? I felt thanks. I felt safe though because Jason did have a knife.
He did.
When he broke into that.
Yeah, he brought the same one. Yeah, it is. And it was I just remember there was a fog in the room. If you remember, there's a fog in the room. There's a lot of vaping and.
I know it was good, and he was so raw.
But he was raw but honest.
Yeah. And you know what? He gave us all the go back and watch it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Go back and watch the interview with Jason, and Kato. I had to deal with these crazy Britney fans for days and days after that. I mean, good Lord, it's almost like pissing off a Swiftie.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
Your life could be in danger. By the way, where are you at with this thing? Because it means he has to be in every damn commercial when you watch football. I want them to break up as soon as possible. Someone have an affair.
Yeah, I think I said the same thing. It's almost unwatchable. Games decided by referees. Kelsey's in every commercial. Obviously, the Madison Avenue knew there was dating going on before the public knew because all of a sudden he got all these endorsements. It's like the perfect planning for them.
Because, Kato, you have to shoot these commercials months in advance. They don't have time to shoot these commercials for the most part during the season. They have one day off, Tuesday. Yeah. They're not shooting commercials generally.
I'll do a rant about that stuff because you know what? I don't know a lot of, I don't know, me personally, I don't know any song by Taylor Swift. I know My wife does. I don't know songs by her, by Ariana Grande. It would go, but the only thing is now I'm starting to lean towards country. I never did before. But titles of country music songs.
By the way, we should go visit Jason.
The only good year we had were the tires in our car. It's just these sort of, if the phone doesn't ring, you know it's me. These are things I want to talk about. The country song, I don't listen to the song. I just think it's the titles. I'm so miserable since you left. It's almost like you're still here. These are things, Tom, that I want to talk about. You'll hear them again because I believe in recycling. So, but we'll go to our guest because we're going to have some fun.
Hang on. I love the titles. Now, what's the next step, man? We got to come up with some lyrics for these songs.
I'm going to. All the toilet paper in the world cannot wipe away your memories of me.
Okay, so
lots.
Okay, have you ever seriously thought about this? Our good friend, Mr. Marino, part of our show here.
Yeah.
His good friend is Darius Rucker. I mean, Darius might be turning that into
I know Darius pretty well. I mean, well enough. I've golfed with him quite a few times.
Okay.
But yes,
Darius. You're onto something.
Darius solo now, and his band was
Hootie and the Blowfish.
Yes.
And I was so, I'm not big into music. I like music. Oh yeah, they were great. And they were huge sports fans. I did a story on them when I was working in Phoenix. This was 1994. And I literally, that album, Crack View Mirror, right? Wasn't it? That was an amazing album.
Yeah,
Hootie and the Blowfish. And I was so backwards. I just didn't understand music. I really wasn't into it that much. I remember walking into the sports department one day and I go to my producer, Chris Harris. I go, hey man, have you heard about this new group, Hootie the Blowfish? They are awesome. I mean, the album was probably out for 3 or 4 months, so I looked like a complete ass. But I did get this great story with them. They were coming to Phoenix, and they were famous for traveling on their bus, and they were such sports freaks.
Yeah.
I mean, Darius talks about the Dolphins, right? The Dolphins.
Yeah, he's also a great golfer.
Yeah. So they showed me everything that they took with them on this tour. So the undercarriage of the bus with all the stores, nothing but sports equipment. That's it. And we were playing football. We were doing the corn, the thing.
Cornhole.
Yeah, all that stuff. So, huge sports fans. Good dude. Hey, I also want to bring this up too. The Mattress Mac story. Have you followed that? He's the guy that owns the furniture stores in Houston, Gallery Furniture. And there's a great story in Outkick, and Outkick.com. Go check this out if you haven't. Fantastic story. And it's about, and I agree with this writer 100%. Mike Gunzelman is the guy that wrote the story. He did a great job because he talks about, so everybody knows who this guy is because he's the one that hedges his bets, and he'll bet like millions and sometimes tens of millions of dollars on the Houston Astros winning the World Series. But if he doesn't, he's hedged his bet. So he's not going to lose all the money. But he has just become completely obnoxious, in my opinion. Right? I mean, he goes from this kind of a lovable, cool story to now it's just like, get enough. Right? And I'll tell you my story with him, Kato.
But we tried to get him.
Yeah, we did. Remember?
Yeah,
we had
him
on the phone in here.
Yeah.
Remember? We were calling him. So years ago when the Houston Astros cheated their way to the World Series in 2017, one of the things I used to do is do sports championship books. I've done over 40 of them when teams win a champ. By the way, I don't remember doing one on the Packers. Actually, they did win
2010.
I'm sorry, I did do that one. So I had a bunch of books left, right? And these were beautiful hardcover books. And I sold them. I sold a lot in Houston, but then I had some left. And I thought this would be a great way to do it at his store. Because he has like 10 stores throughout Houston, very successful furniture stores, great stores, Gallery Furniture. Okay, no, he took advantage of me. You know what? I said, let me get rid of these last 3,000 books. But dude, man, not much of a personality, kind of rude, kind of crass. Not real sophisticated.
Do you know what you should have done, though?
What?
Should have had him in the book. You would have taken every one. Because he obviously likes being in the news.
I used a photo of him in the book. I took it from AP where he was
He's in the book?
Yes.
Oh, then he
should
have.
A picture of him. No, he money. It's all about money. And, if he could, gouge me for another 3 cents per book, he'd do it. But yeah, remember, like he was pretty indifferent when we called and we got him on the phone. But he wanted to know what we were going to pay him.
But
something.
But he won. He won one of the bets for $67 million or something.
And then he went and picked up some of the money with his wheelbarrow.
Yeah.
But he just lost $13 million on the Astros losing the ALCS.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, go right. The story's really good. It's at Outkick.
But did he hedge? Did he lose $13 million? Did he hedge? Did he break even?
You know what?
He said he hedges.
He probably didn't lose $13 million, right?
Yeah.
Because he had something hedged. But if he had the ability to make tens of millions on this thing. But God, is anybody... I could not be more sick of the Astros. I'm so glad they're out.
They're out.
Good riddance.
They're out.
All right. Okay, so let's get to it. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it. Jason's been waiting backstage.
Okay, the one and only Jason Alexander right after this break. All right, it's time to bring in our guest, the one and only Jason Alexander. husband number one, Kato, of Britney Spears.
Yep.
And what a great guest he was for our show last year. Because Jason, thanks so much, buddy. It's good to see you again from Nashville this time.
Yep.
A year ago.
Which is better, Tom, because last time I was here, I could barely see with the fog. The vaping, I was like, is Jason even here? I hear his voice.
So, Jason, that's what you look like. You're a good-looking dude. I can see why Britney wanted to marry you. No question about it. Hey, it's good to see you, though. But if we just reflect to last year, that was unbelievable because, it was a couple months after her wedding to Sam, and they terrorized you. You went to jail for a little bit and came visit us on our set. But a new chapter to talk about now because you're in the news again, Jason. Because of Britney's new book. The Woman in Me is the name of it. And anything Britney does these days is going to be big. It's going to get a lot of attention. And mission accomplished with this book. She opened up and talked about everything in her life. I mean, she held nothing back, as Justin Timberlake found out.
The Woman in Me is the title?
Yes, it
Wasn't that Bruce Jenner's original title of his book? No, I'm kidding.
We'll have to check that.
Oh, yeah, it's not a bad title.
She came out firing. Okay, so let's just get right to it. What was it like when you first heard that you were mentioned in her book? I know you expected it, I'm sure, but what did you think when you heard your name associated and her talking about the 55-hour marriage to you?
Actually, I wasn't sure if she was going to talk about it or not. She didn't say anything to me about it when I spoke to her about the book, but when I saw the Times Magazine article, I was a little surprised because, she kind of said it was she was bored and she doesn't remember much, and I found that kind of hilarious. But I really think she was almost, if that was her words, she was just basically repeating the narrative that we agreed on in Vegas when we signed the annulment. And, she just stuck to the script on that because, we've been friends a long time and we've always kind of had feelings for each other. So the way she brought that up was, a little disappointing, but I know we were in love. I know the truth. And I still support her,
Well, by the way, it was a ghost. The book was not written by her. She had read because I say this because Tom, you do a lot of writing.
I'm a ghostwriter,
and you'd be the perfect guy to write her autobiography.
No,
and you've got the inside, and I just think you do it kind of unbiased. And you would say stuff about Jason.
Oh, what up, Jason? Have you ever seen her at a keyboard? Have you ever seen her write or type or?
I have not, no, but I do know Sam Lansky was the ghostwriter and who also was an editor at Times Magazine. So I just found it interesting that they took that excerpt and it was actually published at Time first. It was almost, I feel like, a shot at me just because I have been so vocal about her freedom and her actually being out of this conservatorship, living her best life. And, she still continues to call me behind the scenes, and it's just always been a real big secret for some reason. And that's why it's always been concerning to me because you would think if she was really free and living her best life, like she's able to go get coffee with these random guys, that work for her or did plumbing for her or whatever. It's like, okay, well, or she goes to Mexico or Hawaii or wherever she's on these trips. And it seems to be free, but then at the same time, somebody as personable from her past that she continues to call isn't able to see her in person. And I just find that concerning. And, it's interesting.
What's funny, I got to give credit to Jason because Jason had said when you were on our show the first time, Jason predicted there'd be a divorce. Now, the people that don't know, Jason went to the wedding. He hopped over a fence or something, but he hopped over a fence. And then Britney and Sam now getting divorced. She said that she wanted to see other hallucinations. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But she said, I say that only because of that knife dance. I'm like, what is going on with this? We're going to show a little clip later, maybe of the knife dance on an airline. But
yeah, I think I predicted it on point.
You did.
I said, maybe like 1 year.
Yeah, he did credit. So you, if I don't know what you're doing in Nashville, but open up a psychic shop. So open up a psychic shop and making these. The Holy Spirit,
the biggest power you can have.
Yeah, that's true.
Good for you.
Amen.
And like you said, you predicted it. But for those that didn't see our first show, Jason, you were at TMZ. You became instantly in the news when she got married. Now, having said that, she's in Vegas. She's got a show in Vegas, and it's the Piece of Me show, right? The Piece of Me show. Can you legally go there, or is there an order that you cannot be a certain amount of distance from her?
No, the order. Actually, I haven't, but I have talked about it. There is no order of protection. There was a temporary for 1 year after I pleaded to the trespassing charges because I didn't feel like sitting in jail after 70 days to fight the charges, but they dropped all the stalking and everything they tried to allege. And they gave me this 1 year temporary restraining order, which ended this past year. So, yeah, I'm free
So,
to go to her show if I'd like.
well, let me ask you, and I'm being serious. Do you think, honest answer, do you think that if you went to Vegas, that you asked her for comp tickets and to go backstage, do you think she would allow that? Or do you think there's no way? And by the way, Tom, that's a show. If Jason going to
Oh my
see
God, I'd pay
the
for
Vegas
that
show,
show.
what do you think would happen?
I think I could probably pay my own tickets and go, and it would have to be that because, like I said, she's still under the court supervision. Like, even though they terminated the conservatorship, there's like this care plan that's still in play, and obviously, there's still people managing her at some level, especially her assets and her money, and like they definitely control her name as far as a brand goes. So, like anything that's attached to like that Britney Spears brand, they're not gonna support me, because I'm not part of that contract. I'm not paid like K-Fed or Sam or anybody that have these NDAs and stuff. So, I guess I did reach out to Cade Hudson and spoke to him very recent, within like the last couple of weeks, and I even offered to sign a confidentiality agreement to meet with him and try to be professional and just normal, just being the circumstances that Brittany has continued to call, and that it's just been this really like, um, they got this like media version of what's the truth is, and then they have like the actual truth, and it's they seem to not want me in the picture for whatever reason. I don't understand that, but
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
that seems to be
but
the narrative that they're going with. And you know what? They need to call in the National Guard to free this girl. I mean, her entire life, there's been somebody stealing from her, taking from her, telling her what to do, telling her what to say. A couple of excerpts from this book that were really interesting. She goes, quote, "He and I got shit-faced." She's referring to you, Jason. "I don't even remember that night at all." But then she remembers the movies you guys watched. She remembered hatching the plan to go down and to the little white chapel where we have friends. By the way, that's where J-Lo got married with Ben Affleck. So, yeah, does she need money? Does this book provide the money that she needs right now? Do you think she's running low on funds because her dad damn near stole most of whatever she had, allegedly? Or what do you think? Because she came out firing here, and she didn't have to blast you
I
like she did.
agree 100%. You know what? If you look at the wedding photos, like we both look completely sober in those photos. And then the lady at the chapel that married us even came out in Rolling Stones and said they don't marry intoxicated people and that we were not intoxicated that night. And I say it like this, Tom, it's identity theft, like she signed under this brand outside the Mickey Mouse Club along with Timberlake and all the Christina Aguilera. And when they get into that $20 million club, your life pretty much is not yours anymore. And for whatever reason, I think it's just because of contracts, like the family and everyone that's actually being paid, right now, or that relies on that brand, are keeping quiet because I know everyone's concerned because I've reached out to everybody. I've reached out to her friends, her mom. I've spoken to her mom. I've spoken to Kate. Everybody seems to be really scared to talk about anything because they're worried that maybe the phone call is going to be recorded and some kind of truth might get out, or that they're going to be held responsible for something that they say. So everyone's real tight knit, quiet. And then you got her sister who's still managed by Lou Taylor, and that's the woman involved in the conservatorship and stealing God knows how many millions of dollars from her while she was under the conservatorship, because she should be worth probably 5 to 10 times worth more money than she is now. But I don't think she'll ever have any issue with being broke. But I think the brand needed this book to just keep relevant and to bring in money for people that work for her. Like Brittany herself is probably good on money, but like people around her, like Cade Hudson or somebody like that makes money off of new work or anything new coming in, they need to get paid, because it's probably been a little while since they've seen some income from Britney anyway.
Wow, hey, Tom, you write books. Now, the big news story also coming out that she had an abortion, correct?
Yeah, that's what she said with Justin
She
Timberlake.
said. Now, you can't just print something like that, Tom, correct? Do you have to?
Well, you haven't heard anything from Justin Timberlake, so we can assume it's probably true, right? But are you saying, did she have to get Justin Timberlake's permission to write that?
Well, I would just say, because saying that, you can't just say something, because isn't that a lawsuit if it isn't true, or there would be a court case, or is someone being quiet on one end?
Well, that would be a major problem if that wasn't accurate. I mean, Justin Timberlake would be up in arms. His lawyers would be calling her immediately. No, I don't think she could do that if that didn't really happen, right? But there's nothing preventing her from writing it if it did happen, right? So I think the assumption can be made that it is true.
Yeah, I think it's possibly true. I even heard rumors, Tom and Kato, about her having an abortion with my child after the Vegas wedding. There was a rumor that my mom just told me and my wife about this year that I never even knew about. She kept it secret, but she said, oh, it was going around the small town of Kentwood that Brittany even had an abortion with my child. I don't know if that's true or not. I do know we consummated the marriage and that we weren't wearing protection, and it possibly could have been true, but I would have never agreed to that. And I think I don't agree with abortion. I'm pro-life. I think if she did get pregnant, they should have been responsible. They had plenty of money at the time. They should have just took care of the child and gave that child an opportunity, But I'm really disappointed to hear that, and it's really unfortunate. It's kind of sad news.
Kato, if you want to get an idea what life in North Korea is like, just get into Britney Spears' life. She has no control. Everything's, monitored. She's, under surveillance the way it seems. Here's one problem I have. She came out with these cookie cutter phrases and quotes about you, right? Which kind of are opposed to how you say the true feelings between the two of you are and the realities of the relationship with you. And then she had this glowing praise for Sam, and they were beating the crap out of each other as they were going through the final days of their marriage. So clearly there's something that was agreed to. She's going to say nice things about Sam, and she's going to stick with the script about you, which leads me to believe, how much in the book can we believe? You want to believe it's true. Do you find her to be a real honest person when you knew her?
Like I said, there's something going on that we don't know about, this like control or fear or something. But why she's complicit with it, I don't understand. But if Sam's such a great person, why they even get a divorce? And it just doesn't make any sense. So hey, I always said Sam, I don't know about him, but I do know that even if I was him, he's had an inside scoop. And if there is any kind of cynical things going on, then he's not talking about it. That's on his conscience, and he has to live with that. So I don't know any amount of money that would keep me quiet if I seen something that I felt was wrong. And that was the whole reason I crashed the wedding that day. People don't understand. Like I was concerned. Like, I mean, and I happened to have the resources and the ability to go there that day. And if I see somebody beating a woman and I'm walking down the street, I'm going to go over there and help that lady, or if I see something, I'm going to say something. So, and I stand by that. It's just the way I was raised. That's how I grew up. I'm a Southern guy from Kentwood. I have, that moral and those respect for my elders and that sort of thing. And I'm going to always stand up for what's right. So, yeah, I don't understand the book. Like I said, I do think it's probably for money.
Yeah, they're married for 1 year, correct? The divorce. Did it make it a year?
Yeah,
You got to think in that year, and she's busy. How much time do they really even spend together?
But she was under house arrest. I bet they spent all their time together for that year.
She had to be preparing for the show, getting in shape.
Yeah, they met in like 2016. That's when the relationship started, according to her in her book, which I don't know if I believe it.
And I told you guys on the show, like, I think Sam is not heterosexual. I think that he like goes both ways, and I stand by that. And I've heard that by so many people. And I do feel like it was an option. Like, hey, this guy we trust. He's been around long enough. Which led, because of all the heat and the controversy around Britney at the time, they wanted her to kind of look stable. So if she got married to this guy, that maybe it would clean her image up, and people would think, oh, Britney's getting her life together. She's kind of calming down. She's getting married or whatever. But then all we do is see these spinning videos on Instagram, and it's like, what's really going on, you know? So,
But I can't, we can't verify if that's true what you think about Sam and all that, unless, of course, he writes a book called The Woman in Me.
well, I actually think, actually, there's a photo going around that I know somebody has of him that would conflict him being straight.
You know, Jason, when things go haywire in your life, what a lot of people do is they go back to a simpler time in their life, right? That's why people reconnect on Facebook and you go back to a different time when things weren't as complicated. And I think of Britney right now and her having a quote by saying, you know, that she wasn't in love with you, right, at the time. But you guys were very close friends for many, many years. And you say that you guys are still in touch. Are you? I mean, when is the last time she called you? And I find it shocking that she just won't admit that and deal with it and say, hey, here's a friend from earlier in my life that I can at least count on.
I agree with you 100%. She called me on October the 16th and said happy birthday and then hung up. So that's the kind of like things that are going on. It's like these little weird games, and I've been trying to be like, I got married earlier this year, and I'm really just focusing on my life because, at the beginning of 2020 when she reached out to me, COVID happened. I got laid off from my job. I was going through a separation. I have a child with another woman, so I've been working on these type things. And then Brittany comes into my life, and it's like, whoa, after 10 years, I'm not having any contact. I was like, wow. In the conversations we were having, I felt like, whoa, maybe I'll get a chance to redeem our annulment and like actually get a chance to like be in a relationship with her like I always dreamed of in the past or whatever. And like we talked about in Vegas and before Vegas. So, and then this conversation lasts 3 years, and the next thing you know, she's getting married to Sam, and there's like these hours and hours of conversations behind the scenes where she's basically cheating on Sam, the conversations we were having. And the first time she reached out to me, actually, after I got arrested for crashing her wedding, was all the way in December the 2nd on her birthday last year. And she contacted me and we spoke, and I was like, yeah, I crashed your wedding, just kind of brought it up. And she nonchalantly said, yeah, we're not going to talk about that. But later I asked her, why she didn't stand up for me or say anything. And she said she didn't have any control over that. So that also means that also reverts back to the idea she has no say so in what her life choices are at this up to a certain extent anyway.
Well, congratulations on getting married. I have a question for you. And how does your wife handle all of this that's going on with you? And what is her feeling about Brittany? And would she be upset if Brittany tried to get contact with you?
She's been super supportive because like she actually really cares about me, and she's not jealous of the situation like most women in my past have been super jealous over that topic, which I can understand. But she actually has an inside scoop of how my life is constantly affected by it, and she really is concerned for Brittany in the same kind of ways because she's spoken to Brittany personally multiple times.
Oh, she knows her too. She knows Brittany also from the same town? Uh,
No. But she's been around Jason.
You've been around. Okay, so they know each other. That's
Just over the phone. They've never actually met in person. So, but she's just as concerned because she doesn't like to see me slandered and defamed in the media and the way they talk about me in some of these articles and some of the stuff that's happened in my past. The way they always print the alleged action, but they never actually tell the truth of like what really happened. So, you get these weird what is it? Like they just label you, these weird labels that stick to the public that aren't true, and they never really come back and tell you what the final outcome of the court hearing was or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah. If there's something nice said about you, it's the last paragraph in the story.
Well, they always take the easy way out. Yeah. They're always just falling back on some sort of cliche that they've, subscribed to for the last 18 years or however long it's been. Is there a part of you, I love Britney. I think she's super talented. I feel horrible for her, what's happened to her in her life because of her parents. Piece of crap parents. Bottom line, I know you grew up with them. I want to get your opinion on that, but I have kids. All right. So I know bad parents when I see them, they're bad parents. Would you like her completely out of your life? Your life might be easier, but you might miss her. Would your life be better void of Britney?
Well, look, there was 10 years there where we didn't talk, and I kind of put her behind me. And my life was really simple, you know. And um, can you guys still hear me pretty good? Okay. Yeah. So, and then all of a sudden she contacted me, and things started to change. At this point, it's almost become a mission for me to like, I want to see her in person and her tell me to my face, you know, like whatever her position is on certain things, and like really just talk to her like a friend that I've known since I was 5 years old. And not hide behind Instagram or these private phone calls or whatever, you know, and these narratives. But yeah, you know, it's really I don't see anybody else fighting for her, and I'm not really fighting for her, but I do would like to see her kind of in a better place where there isn't so much controversy. And you know, I have a lot of unanswered questions too, so I don't know if I'll ever, you know, stop fighting for truth and like the idea of, you know, seeing Brittany one day and having a one-on-one conversation.
Yeah. You know, Kato, Jason sounds like one of the few people in the world that actually cares for her. Everybody wants a piece of her. You know, maybe that's why, you know, she goes back to that title, but it's true. Everybody wants money from her. They're glamming, they're gravy training off her in some way. They're leeches. That's all they are. Hangers on, users. They're terrible. But you've known her for so long. Right. And you legitimately care for her. Could you have predicted her parents could have been such a disaster and that horrible, and people that would take advantage of her to the level that they have?
Her mom's always been a gold digger. A lot of people don't remember her first boyfriend, Reg Jones, which I know from high school. We were friends, and I knew his sister really well also, but he went to a different high school. He went to Park Lane Academy, but he was a senior the year that Lynn uh, introduced Brittany to him. And his dad's super wealthy. They lived in like a 14,000 square foot home in Macomb, Mississippi. And Brittany was only 14 at the time. And that's who actually took Brittany's virginity when she's talking about losing it at 14 is this guy, Reg Jones. And he wrote a book years ago. I don't actually know the name of it, but you know, like Brittany's mom's always wanted to. I don't know if she's been living through Brittany or whatever, and I know that dad's had a lot of financial problems in the past, but they're known around the small town of Kentwood of being really, you know, not paying their bills and being real like snobby and you know, but they still live in Kentwood, so it's interesting because they kind of have their house outside of town and they don't really support anything in the community. But I agree with you, Ty. They're horrible parents, and you know, I can relate to that, and it definitely affects a person as an adult when you don't have that compassion and that love, and it's just real controlling and just a lot of like condescending behavior, and it's like, you know, you just obey me, I'm your parent kind of attitude instead of like showing like real love and compassion, which is unfortunate. I think that's what she's missing right now.
Are they together, Tom? Jason, do you know? Are they still married? But they still live in the same city. They
They
still live in
never
the
got a
same town.
divorce actually, but they're separated for like 20 years or
Okay.
something or longer. Uh,
Well, I think no divorce. Maybe that's for financial reasons. I don't know how you can.
Probably.
But yeah, the who knows? It's the gravy train. But you know, everybody talks about Britney, and Britney it was her mind clear. What's going on with the dancing knives and all that? But I think. Me personally think that she's got to be very strong in her mind because she's doing a Vegas show. You've got to be in shape. You've to perform she probably performs at least 5 or 6 nights in Vegas for the show. It's draining. You can't really go out at night. You got to do your show. So your mind and body you've got to be pretty pure. So if anything, she's very disciplined. Or maybe it's you know her, Jason. I don't know what's going on if she's doing these crazy things. Maybe she's just playing the people, the media. Like I'll show them on this video.
right. I think there's some of that going on, and because I've talked to her so much that I'm like she's completely normal. Like she's got a very good, strong mind and she's very smart. And even Rebecca, my wife, says the same thing. She's like, I've talked to her. There's nothing really, if there's anything wrong, it's the people around her and the medication that they might be pushing on her and the instability and just having good people around. But back to what you were saying, Tom, like, I had an opportunity in Vegas where I could have contested that annulment. And I had these high powered lawyers that were consulting me to like, look, you really need to fight this annulment and ask because you were coerced and you were, under duress and you're getting taken advantage of. And at the time, they coached Brittany, her team of lawyers and managers, coached her to keep me pretty much on the line phone conversation for like the 30 days of Vegas law requires before it's too late to actually contest these type of things. And if I really wanted money, I could have just took her to the bank back then. So that just goes to show you that I really cared and I really respected her family and I loved her and that I wasn't in it for the money. Like this was somebody I grew up with. I never looked at her like a celebrity like that, even though she had made this super famous career for herself. I always thought I was going to play professional football. So like it was like I was on my own path and then, things didn't work out the way I thought they were, but Vegas changed a lot for me and it's really just disheartening to hear that excerpt in the book or whatever she says in the book or whatever she allowed them to say about me in the book because like you said she could have just said like Jason is an old friend of mine, we grew up, we had a good time in Vegas. I'm not going to say too much about it, but I'll keep that for another day or something and then maybe talk to me about what I felt comfortable with her talking about because we did make agreements out there in Vegas, but they obviously didn't hold their end of the deal up.
Yeah, you're dealing with wackos.
And you're in the book, so that's good. That's a good thing. You're in the book, right?
Keep it going. Maybe you'll be in the sequel too. Maybe the movie. Hey, Kato, you made a good point about her residency in Vegas, and that is that you're regimented, man. Every day is the exact same. You're hitting the stage. You're in the green room getting ready. You have X amount of time after the show. You got to get your rest. You're living in Vegas where it's 105, 110 degrees, so you don't have a lot of time to be doing frivolous things. So here's my thought: when she's not doing that, it's free time. I think she's entertaining herself with some of these videos. I think she might be medicated or something, clearly. But I also think, and you tell me, Jason, because you know her, could she be one step ahead of people? Meaning, could she be playing us a little bit with some of this, entertaining us and just relishing in her freedom that she's never had and thinking, I'm going to make up for some lost time. I'm going to control the narrative about me. I'm going to maybe like play with the media a little bit here because she knows they'll cover anything. TMZ, they have some sort of agreement where she could do whatever she wants and it's going to be covered a certain way. But tell me a little bit about her intelligence level, her savviness, her business acumen. Could you see that?
I personally don't think that could be 100% the truth just because maybe there's a little bit of that, but well, I'm kind of out of the loop. So is there a new Vegas show or something that she's committed to?
I think she's performing again in 2024. She's not.
Yeah,
now.
yeah. But you're training for it. The Vegas show it's going to be called Pieces of Me.
Yeah, she had the residency. And I think she's coming back in 24.
Yeah, she had it. You've got to be in shape. You can't. You're dancing. Your vocal cords. You got to rest. So, and a point that Tom, I'm going to agree and disagree. I think we're seeing something that's 30 seconds on a video. The more you see it, you think this is what she does all day. It's 30 seconds. 30 seconds where you could be playing. I don't know if she is, but it's 30 seconds that people watch over and over and they make their judgment on that. So it's really hard. If you have a 24 hours of someone's life following with a camera, it's different. This is just a clip of 30 seconds. Like, hey, I could be in the room with Tom going, Tom, watch this 30 seconds. People are going to think I'm insane.
She's got her followers too, Jason.
Yeah.
But don't you think like she would want to like do more like live videos and really like let people see that she's living really comfortable and that her mental state is well and that especially with everything that is being said in the media and in the news, like she could use that really to change people's minds about what they think. So we're not having these conversations, and there's not like this room for all these different ideas to float around. Like she could really be rebuilding herself right now instead of like allowing playing games or whatever you would want to say. She is a mother, and she's got two kids out, by the way, that are teenagers, and like this has got to be like affecting their life and stuff. So like,
Well, sure. Here's the problem. She doesn't have any guidance. She doesn't have like a savvy manager or agent, unless I'm wrong. But I mean, that's what you need when you're at that level. Everything is calculated.
You got to have good choices. You got to have great choices
for every single thing you do. And it seems like she's kind of making it up on the fly, and it seems a little erratic. It's entertaining at times, but it is crazy.
I'll tell you, Jason. Tom's point there. I think, Tom, if you could get a call in to do our show, because we'll treat her right.
Jason, we'll let you interview her on our show.
well, you know what? I've actually met with an attorney here in Nashville, and we've talked about like a plan for her, like if she really wanted to change her surroundings and the people managing her and take her career in a different direction. And we talked about different ideas for her, and that we obviously wouldn't be uh, wasting resources and opportunities like she has been with whoever's managing her right now. And so I have looked into those sort of things, but ultimately it's her decision on how she wants to allow who she wants to allow in her life and to manage her, if she even has any say so.
Yeah, well, you're trying hard to help her. You're communicating with her however you can through third-party channels, or when she calls you and says happy. She's clearly thinking about you at times. Have you and Rebecca ever considered adopting her? That could help. Come on, Jason, you got to laugh, right? You got to have some fun with this thing. Right? It's so surreal. Yeah.
So she'll be doing a book tour, correct? Don't you think she'll be interviewed on every major show? So I think that's.
What? I heard they had a body double that's going to be doing that for her.
No. I mean, if she's on a Today Show or whatever, it's going to be her. It would have to be her, but I wonder, then you can kind of judge of where her mind is at. If she's doing sit-down interviews, because you've got to be, first of all, really on the ball with those, and some of them are at 5 a.m., and if it's Vegas, it's 4 a.m., if it's a 3-hour morning show, on the East Coast, you can't fool anybody. You're there live. So I don't know if she's going to do that or not, but I would think
I'm interested.
Her management's
going to see that. Yeah.
Yeah, her management's got.
I think she'd be doing it by now, because the book's been out a couple weeks.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see that, Kato. I don't think we're going to see any of that.
Because you really haven't seen her do any interviews.
Right? Yeah, so that makes you wonder why is her management not having her going out and do?
Or the
do they know something?
You think the publishers would say, "Hey, we got to move. We got to sell every copy of this."
Well, you think that'd be part of the contract also?
Well, I also think that's why she's doing crazy things. She stays in the news, right? And then you think about that book,
or maybe that's in the contract. Hey, do crazy things.
Hey, Jason, let me ask you this question. It's been a little over a year since you crashed the wedding. It was a pretty big deal, right? You had to go to jail. Any regrets about it? I know you had the pocket knife, but you said you carry that with you all the time, and you had good intentions when you went there. But do you wish you hadn't done it now that you've had a little time to think about it?
Hey, relax there, pal. Relax, pal. Come on.
He does have it with him at all times.
You know what? I don't regret anything except for not going in that locked door at the end of the hallway.
What do you think was in there? Is that where Britney was getting ready?
Yep. I feel like if I would have maybe I should have just kicked that door open. But I was trying to not be violent or like give them any reason to shoot me, because they did pull a gun on me. But I don't regret it at all, because I feel like it changed something, whatever. And it just shows that I'm not playing around, like when my name's involved in something, like I'm not just going to sit there and let stories be told about me without defending myself or trying to find the truth. And if Britney is being trafficked or some type of identity theft, or there's people using her name and not allowing her to have say so, like I'm gonna continue fighting for that. And like you haven't seen the end of me, obviously, and I'm always gonna be the first husband. And whatever Britney does, they're gonna be interested in me. So I'm just continuing to build my life so I could be in a better position in the future to fight this a little bit better. Maybe a little bit more planned.
A little more strategic, right? Maybe not as spontaneous. Well, and then probably having somebody like Rebecca, she can help think through these things strategically for you. Yeah. What else, man? What are you doing these days? Staying busy, working out? You look good.
Yeah. Nah, I stay in shape. I've always been an athlete, and they got this they got this new organization called the BKFC. I don't know if you heard of it, but it's Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. It's boxing bare knuckle, and I really would like to do that. Like I really like to try out and so I've been reaching out to certain people and staying in shape for something like that in the future. But I'm just working, enjoying my marriage to my wife, building my life up, working on things in my personal life with my son, and just enjoying things and you know, kind of redeeming some of the bad mistakes I made in the past.
Good for you. Good for you.
Kids?
Absolutely. Yeah, we're definitely going to have kids for sure.
Cool. Hey, Jason, set the record straight because Britney and her team control the narrative of this whole relationship with you and what happened. But A, how often is she in touch with you, or has she been literally in touch with you, say the last 2 or 3 years? And what are those conversations like?
So in the beginning, it was every day for hours and sometimes in the middle of the night, up until she got engaged to Sam. And then I went to the Free Britney rally, which I put myself out in the media, in the public, and started telling the public that I was talking to her. And then the conversation changed. And that was because I felt like the team was now aware of this private conversation. So it really changed. But then now it's been really, like I said, she contacted me on my birthday and said happy birthday and hung the phone up. She called me after there was some stuff that happened recently, locally here with I can't really talk about it right now, but some things where I ended up in the media at my gym about some things, and she called me and actually gave me a number to contact her. And we talked on the phone, and that was probably a month and a half ago for a brief amount, like probably 10, 20 minutes. And then I haven't been able to get her on the phone since, but I have texted her a few times and talked to her through text. And she has called that one time for my birthday. And like I said, I reached out to Cade Hudson. I got his cell phone number. He answered the phone when he was just recently in New York when the Britney was seen there also. I can't remember why they were in New York, with some type of VMAs or something was going on, or anyway. And I tried to reach out and just tell them, I'm willing to work with you guys. Like I feel like together we could help Britney and just help the idea that for her personal mindset, for her career, like if we're all on the same page working together, where it's not like so like I'm over here against Britney and everyone's separated. And I've even reached out to the family and stuff. So that's what makes me really concerned. And I'll tell you, it's just there's so much security around her, and there's so much control that I just feel like one day, hopefully, we'll know what the actual truth is. But
Have you read the book? Are you going to?
no, you know what? Someone asked me this. She actually asked me if I pre-ordered it, and I told her no. You could give me a signed copy. And then someone asked me this question, but I told them, you know what? Even if I got a signed copy, I'd probably sell it to the highest bidder because I'm not really too interested in it, because I don't hear her naming like Larry Rudolph or Lou Taylor or any of these people that have her dad. I don't know how much she gets into the conservatorship and how they like controlled her life for 13 years and like she said she wanted people to go to jail in that court hearing where she actually spoke and testified. And like, we don't, I know there's still ongoing court hearings coming up next year. And so I guess we'll have to wait and see. But I just don't see the book being used properly. It seems like, yeah, she mentioned that abortion about K-Fed, and then she played me a little bit what she said about that. But then oh, and Justin with Justin, I'm sorry, I said K-Fed, but either way, I feel like she could have used the book to really clear her name and maybe gave people that compassion she really needs and like some of the insight of like what was really going on in her life. But at this, I just don't think that's, happened. And I haven't read the book, so.
Right.
And, just so I can clear it up for my own head, you keep mentioning this person, and it sounds like it's a guy, but are you saying Cade Hudson?
Yeah, Cade, Cade. That's her close friend.
Cade. Okay. Because I didn't know. I was making sure because I was thinking Goldie Hawn's daughter, and that's the actress. But yeah, because the accent, which I love, by the way. I kept going. I kept looking at Tom going, what does Kate Hudson have to do with this? And does she have a book? It's what's going on? It's Cade, Cade.
He's her manager, but he also manages like a lot of other celebrities. So
Well,
like,
hey, man, I think we hit it
you're
all.
great.
Anything else? Anything that we're missing? Any scoops you want to break right here?
I think I said everything I needed to say. Just that I support Brittany. I love and care about her. I really wish the best for her, and like I wish that we could actually be on the same page and really like work together where it was because I'm not ever gonna be quiet. Like I'm gonna be Jason Alexander, and because I've been thrown in the middle of this and I haven't been managed, or like the situation hasn't been managed properly, and like they kind of just threw me to the wolves. You know what? I'm gonna be that person, and so I'm always gonna be a thorn in that brand as long as they keep me as an outcast. I'm not signing any contracts or NDAs, but like I would like to be a good friend to her that I didn't have to be this private phone conversation or whatever, that no one knows about. So I just really hope her for the best for her. I don't want to see anything happen to her or any harm come to her, and I hope she's taking care of herself and that she's not using any drugs or anything that's like, causing any harm to her. And I really just, I pray for her and I have nothing but love for her.
Yeah. So we ended the show last time you were on. You had a prediction that came true. You said there was going to be a divorce. Tom and myself, I'm going to do a prediction. Oh, Jason, I want your prediction from 1 year from now. I think that Britney Spears will meet up with you, Jason, and your new wife, and you guys will have a barbecue or something. I don't know. What is your prediction that will happen? You predicted Sam and Britney would not make it. You picked right on cue, too, a year to this day. What's your new prediction?
I predict that. I predict that she will sit down and meet with me personally, one on one, my wife included.
Wait, that's mine. You got to come up with your own. Hey, that was my prediction. You got to have your own.
We're on the same page then, because the other predictions are not they're not positive and they're not good. So I don't want to say them.
Yeah.
Here's mine. I'm not going to make a prediction, but I am going to give Britney Spears some advice. Britney, you've lived over 20 years with parasites surrounding you, people that don't give a damn about you. All right. There's one person that clearly does. You're making way too big a deal out of this. Embrace some people that know you and care about you sincerely. It'll only make your life better. Don't make this such a drama. Big deal. You got married for 55 hours. Your psycho team around you is the one that poured fuel onto this thing and let it get carried away. Jason cares about you. Rebecca cares about you. Throw out the olive branch.
I care about her.
Kato cares about you.
She's a good person.
And let's all have that barbecue. We'll come out to Nashville, man. We'll come out there. Brittany can bring the knives. She could cut the tri-tip. She's good at that.
They're better. And Tom, you are going to love the moonshine I'm making.
Deal? Is it a deal? Is it a date in Nashville?
And you know what? I would like to see her. I'd like to see her reunited with her family and her sister and everybody in a positive way.
I don't care about that. I want the barbecue in Nashville. I want the tri-tip slice. I want the moonshine, and I want peace and harmony.
I don't even care if the parents drop it off at DoorDash. The food.
Hey, I want Jason and Brittany's dad in a bare knuckle match in front of the Grand Ole Opry. If that could happen, that would be awesome.
Jason's also great for Ice Wars.
Yeah, you would be. Jason.
The confident Jason Alexander.
Hey,
I love
Jason,
that.
great seeing you. Seriously, we care about you. Really appreciate everything you've done. You're always available for us. And man, I just wish nothing but the best. And I think things are really going in the right direction for you. So the best to you and Rebecca.
Yes, sir. All right, guys.
Okay, so there you have it, right? I mean, Jason is a great dude, always has been. Very misunderstood, and it's just unfair how, the team around Britney could just control all this. And, of course, you got the media as well. So, but anyway, hey, if we could do Jason once per year in our show, I mean, that's a good thing.
Yeah, I would see if the predictions come true, but he did nail it. He did nail that one.
Hey, but tell me about this moonshine.
Well, I've got a little thing. It's really rubbing alcohol. But,
yeah, but Kato, you just put your name on this thing, and it'll take off.
You'll love it. Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
I mixed it in with a little Listerine. Shot of NyQuil.
Hey, I'll tell you what, moonshine's hot right now. Nelly has his own brand of moonshine.
Wow, I didn't.
Dan Patrick's show has moonshine. I think it's just different.
I think they're just saying moonshine, right?
Well, plus we went through that phase where every celebrity had to have a tequila, right?
Yeah.
And then I think everybody's just trying to copy Ryan Reynolds, who made a fortune with his gin. So I like the.
Well, I think the didn't Clooney already have that
tequila
before Ryan
Casamigos, right?
Yeah.
But those were organic and sincere, and they actually did it the right way. I mean, Clooney and Gerber.
Yeah.
I mean, they did it the right way, and Mike Melman. I mean, that was something they actually like worked on, was legit. Everybody else is just throwing their like the Rock.
But the first
you
one,
tried the Rock's tequila, it's the worst.
No, but the first tequila that I think it started it all was Sammy Hagar. He did it. It got to be at least 15 years ago.
More.
Yeah, more. Yeah,
fortune.
At least
a fortune.
He sold it.
He made hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars on that. Amazing. And then just all the fun times in Cabo with him.
Yeah.
But hey, great show. Really appreciate Jason. Hey, subscribe to this channel. If you're listening to this on audio, make sure you go to YouTube and watch this. All right. So you can see Jason in person. You can see Kato. You can see the mannerisms, see how, how poised he was and what a great interview that was. So subscribe to our channel. Tell people about this thing. It's growing. We want to get this thing to 10,000 subscribers in the next couple weeks. Do your part, everybody. Share this. I think this is really good content. We have the one and only Kato Kalin right here, heading into the 30th anniversary of the whole OJ thing. He's going to be so busy next year. Kato_Kalin on social media. I'm at Tom Zenner, and just follow us throughout the week because we're gonna have great shows every week.
Always great stuff that we post. Always great, and every show is really, honestly, every show was on fire.
Yep. All right. So thank you, Dave, for all the technical things that you had to go through on this episode today. Really appreciate that. Thank you to Jason Alexander and his wife Rebecca. It takes a big woman, because Britney is just a powerhouse. To have that in your, do you want that in a new marriage? I want it. I would not.
Obviously, she's a tough woman. That's great.
She signed up for it. So best of luck to them. Hey, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll be back here with another episode next week.